History was made at WrestleMania 7, and we'll tell you all about it this week on the Superstars of Wrestling. Welcome, everyone, to the Superstars of Wrestling. I'm Vince McMahon, and I'm here to tell you that Hulk Hogan became World Wrestling Federation Champion at WrestleMania 7 for the third occasion. But right now, let me introduce you to a man who likewise made wrestling history of a sort. Here is the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yeah, Vince McMahon, I want you to remember something. I went to the pinnacle of wrestling of success when I became the World Wrestling Federation Champion, yeah. Now that door's closed, but another one's open, yeah. I'm going to be the World Wrestling Federation Broadcasting Champion of the world. The one, the best that ever lived. And Lady Luck beside me, how can I lose? Yeah.
Well, right now, here comes Roddy Piper, who likewise at WrestleMania. That's sort of a rough go. Hot Rod?
Sort of a rough go? I guess we did have sort of a rough go. Last thing I needed in WrestleMania was somebody that could do more damage to my leg than my motorcycle could. But let me tell you something, DiBiase, you and your new manager, Bride of Frankenstein. Last time I was just coming for dinner. This time I'm going to clean out the whole carcass. Dig it. What do you mean?
All right, let's take you now to a WrestleMania update.
We had say what? A whole lot of superstars on this stage here tonight. But I want y'all to know one thing. This is my house. And when I say who's
word attack skills and vocabulary too. All the hits in the disc edition is all brand new. Get through. I'm interplanetary and like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
All right, man. It's been 2 weeks. I can't believe I haven't recorded in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But we're back. Ringtime Pro Wrestler is here. Keshia's back after like 3 weeks.
Man, it's been too long. It's been too long. Jesus, I'm telling you, it's been too long. I missed it. I missed you too. I did. I can't even lie.
Well, to be honest, to be fair, it hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been almost a week since I recorded. Because last week I did record with the WrestleCast. You can find that on the Coast of the Podcast Network. Just search WrestleCast. There's links to the show. There's links to the WrestleCast Tumblr. I got all that provided for you, so check that out. I'll probably drop a link in the show notes so you can check out my last appearance on the WrestleCast. It's always good to be back with family to talk about wrestling.
Of course.
And if you just want to check out what they got going on the Coast of the Podcast Network, it's way more than wrestling, man. Good Terrible Show, The Bad Advice Show, Chicken and Joey Rice. They even just added Know the Score, Sports Podcast. Classic doing big things over there. So check that out. Check out your boy over on the WrestleCast. We discussed Hogan. We discussed, how he torched his legacy.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's one thing to hear my solo thoughts. It's one thing to hear me talking out with some other people. And also, hey, guys gonna be back soon. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keish, me and you did not get to talk the Hogan thing on the podcast. The podcast world hadn't heard your views. So before we even get rocking and rolling, what you feeling, what you felt?
Man, okay.
Time to digest it and put it in framing in some real words.
Okay, so to start off from the beginning, the way that I found out, because he always asks you, well, how did you even know? So I was on Facebook, because that's just one of my favorite places to be. And all of a sudden I see this post about, his everything disappearing. Every real wrestling fan knows that once somebody's everything disappears, they've done something completely fucking stupid. They just done something ridiculous. It's to the point where it's just like, oh my God, why? So I knew it had to be something drastic. And once I found out what happened, I was done. I couldn't believe it. It's like a part of you just dies. Like, if that's the best way to put it, like, a part of you just died. And that's exactly what happened. Because it was just kind of like, it wasn't, you know, it's crazy to say this, but it wasn't really too surprising. It was just kind of shocking that, you know, the words that were said, the things that were said. I read the transcript, and I just couldn't believe it. Like, it was disgusting. You know, well, the things that were being said by him were just disgusting. And you look at him, and it's like, this is Hulk Hogan. You know? Hulk Hogan are saying these things. He's saying these things. And that was it for me. Like, I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I was just like, I'm done. Like, to have, I was a Hogan fan. I was a Hogan fan, but not as big as, like, people that have watched his entire career. You know, I've only got to see some of it. Because, you know, I was born in 87. So, like, for me, it's a little different than someone that has been watching his career since, like, the beginning or in the 80s or something like that. But I still, as a wrestling fan, I still felt so disgusted by it all. Because it's like, he's been around so many wrestlers of another race, nationality, and it just makes you wonder, like, does he really believe in these things that he's saying? He has to. Because it's like, no one says stuff like that they don't really feel. You know, everybody has their jokes here and there. But the things that he was saying was just, it was serious. And I just couldn't, I was done. Like, I was just, I can't. You know? So, as I told Keith, I'll just put it out there. Like, Hogan being Chris Benoit, because that's what I call it. It wasn't surprising once I found out why. Like, that's what didn't surprise me. After finding out what happened, I was just like, okay, yeah. I mean, because if it were me, I would have did the same thing. You don't want to associate yourself with people that do things like that, say things like that. Because that means that they actually believe in what they're saying. Nobody really comes out the mouth and says stuff like that and just goes back and like, oh, I was just kidding. No, you weren't. You weren't kidding at all, period. Like, there was just no jokes in there whatsoever. And any part of it was a joke. It was a disgusting joke. It was very disturbing. And I just couldn't. Yeah, Hulkamania died that day. And a part of me died with it. like, a part of me died with it. Because it was just kind of like, are you serious? You know, like, no. I was hoping, like, once, at some point, someone would just come out and be like, oh, it was me, it wasn't him. But, nah. After he started defending himself, it was it after that. That was it after that. I was like, yeah, it's him. No matter what you say, you didn't mean it, whatever. Like, you meant what you said, and you meant it the way you said it, and you might as well just say that and just be done with it. I'd rather you be honest and just be like, yeah, that was me, and I said it, and I meant it, and fuck it. Then for you to just be like, I didn't mean it that way, and this, that, and third. That actually gets on my nerves. I don't know if people really understand this, but I'd rather you be the most disgusting person in the world and be honest about it than for you to do it and lie about it. Like, just, oh, now you want to defend yourself, and you want to present yourself as this person that didn't say these things and didn't mean these things. No, you said it and you meant it. You just didn't think that it would actually come out and be put out there. You know, you didn't think you was going to get caught saying these things. You thought it was just going to be something that was going to stay on the wrap and nobody would ever know who you really are. No. I'd rather you present yourself as who you really are than for you to, and after everybody finds out, to actually sit there and stand behind what you said and just be like, oh, well, that wasn't me. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, come on. Really? No, you knew you were thinking. That's why you said it. You knew exactly what you were thinking. That's why you said it. And I was just, I'm kind of mad about it. You know? Like, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? It was just awful. It was awful. Like, I guess those are the best words that I could use to describe, like, how I feel about this entire situation.
No. I just wanted you to get it off your chest because I know you hadn't had that opportunity to get it out, express yourself, and utilize the webs for that situation. But on to other news in wrestling, and the thing that has dominated the wrestling news cycle for the past 5 to 6, 7 days is the passing of Roddy Piper. It's kind of funny. One guy posted, hey, you know, Piper came out and stole the show from Hulk Hogan once again.
Oh, right.
Like he always does. But the man, the myth, the legend, Roddy Piper, the king of Piper's Pit, the original segment by a wrestler talking on a wrestling show, one of the greatest all time, one of the greatest talkers all time, a man who could talk him in the building, love him or hate him. He always stirred the pot. He inspired a lot of people. If you watch Best in the World, the CM Punk documentary, one of the things he talked about when he was a kid, he watched Piper and he watched Piper's Pit. That guy was small, wasn't the biggest guy, but he talked a lot of smack.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it shows you the kind of people he inspired. There would be no flower shop. I mean, I could give you all the segments that came. The Snake Pit with Jake Roberts, the Funeral Parlor with Paul Bearer and Undertaker.
Right.
You had the Brother Love show. You had the Barbershop with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. All those segments, nothing was Piper's Pit.
Right.
Piper's Pit is the pinnacle and standard. Chris Jericho's highlight reel, Miz TV, it's all Piper's Pit. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. I understand.
It begins and ends with that. The guy is an integral part of the first ever Starrcade, the dog collar match. He is the main event of the first ever WrestleMania. So the two biggest pay-per-view events that ever kicked off in wrestling history in the 1980s both involved Roddy Piper.
Right.
You know what I mean? In a prominent role. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, hey, Bob Orton was at Starrcade. Greg Valentine was at the first WrestleMania. And then, I mean, both of those guys was at both events. Steamboat was at both events. But Piper was a cog in the wheel. You know what I mean?
Right. Piper
sold some pay-per-views for both of them. It was the primary seller for WrestleMania. He's the catalyst. He's the hate wheel. It's enough you have Hogan and Mr. T on the other side, but you need Piper as the antagonist to really fuel that. And he did his part very well. A legend. I mean, he came in this game. He's been in there since the 1970s. Broke into business at 15 years old. First match against Larry the Axe Hennig. Keshia, I don't want to fight Larry the Axe Hennig in 2015.
All right.
Just in case you don't know, that's Mr. Perfect Daddy. You know what I mean? That's Kurt Axel granddaddy. Monsterly huge dude. No. So I know he throwing them bows at a 15-year-old wasn't cute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he broke something.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty
but the guy stated, and I mean, he worked his way up through the business. So he's a scrapper, a fighter his whole life. He never had it easy. If you are a fan of the wrestlers in the movies, Piper the OG of that.
Exactly.
They live. Hell Comes to Frogtown, which we reviewed on the Ringtime Pro Wrestler site. Body Slam, Keshia. I discovered this gem last week.
Oh, wow.
Wrestling movie starring Dirk Benedict from the A-Team. Hold on, Face from the A-Team is playing a manager in a wrestling movie?
Right.
Oh, who's in the movie with Piper? Tonga Kid, a.k.a. Sam 52. Rikishio, the brother. Who in the movie with Piper? The Barbarian. Captain Lou Albano. The Wild Samoans, Alpha Sika. Ric Flair got a cameo in the movie. Bruno Sammartino got a cameo in the movie. 1986 Body Slam. Check it out. You can find it. I watched it on YouTube. It's out there.
Awesome.
He got a bunch of action movies. I think he did like, you know what Billy Blanks was famous for before doing Tybo? Doing action movies with Roddy Piper.
Really?
Yeah, he did like 2 or 3 movies with Roddy Piper.
That's crazy.
Google Billy Blanks and Roddy Piper. They got like 2 or 3 action movies together. So, just saying, Piper's the OG. Keish, thoughts, impact on the whatever you like to share about Hot Rod.
He was an extraordinary wrestler. He was an extraordinary man. He was a sight to see. Of course, I got to see him later in life, watching him in the 90s, late 90s, you know, his cameos in the 2000s. And I've always been a fan of Rowdy. Like, his energy is unmatched. His trash talking, no one can touch him. like, I've seen episodes of Piper's Pit from his days in WAF when he was actually an active wrestler, and like, it's astonishing the limits that he didn't have boundaries. Like, you can forget about boundaries. Boundaries didn't exist with Piper. And that, to me, is what made him so great. Like, even when he did talk shows and when he did interviews and stuff, he still had no lines. Like, people would try to set these boundaries for him, and he would just, like, destroy them. He had no limits. None. He was an incredible wrestler. He was awesome in the ring. I just wasn't ready. Like, it's like no one's ready for this to happen. It's still taking me aback, because when I first heard the news, I didn't believe it at all. Like, for a good 24 hours, I was like, that did not happen. You know? It didn't. And it took me watching the after interview of Ronda Rousey's fight, who actually has adopted his name for her career, and her talking about it, and I was just like, wow, this is real. It's hard to even describe him in words that fit the bill for how great he was. He was awesome. Like, he had so much character. I mean, he had so much personality. He was just a great wrestler. He was a awesome person. Like, as a wrestling fan, speaking about Rowdy is just, it's amazing. You know, it's funny because I remember watching him and Ric Flair's wife swap, celebrity wife swap. It was one of the most hilarious episodes I've ever seen in my life. But it showed him as a person, you know, like, people think at times that the wrestlers, some of them, they're just not human, you know. But that showed us how human he could be. And it was awesome. he's going to be missed. Like, in every sense of the word. There will be no other Roddy Piper. Period. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely don't think you could ever take that legacy or move on. I mean, there's one of a kind. There's been a lot of imitators, but never duplicated. He's a guy who never won a world title and didn't need it.
No.
Definitely an icon in the business. I thought Kayfabe News did a really good tribute. Well, it was kind of Dusty and a few people who passed away. As it says, Heaven's putting on the biggest pay-per-view in the history of eternity, with Dusty and Piper as the main event. We had a card that featured Eddie Guerrero, Rick Rude, The Ultimate Warrior, Mr. Perfect. It was crazy. Gorilla Monsoon and Gordon Soley calling action. It was being promoted by Vince McMahon Sr. Check it out. Kayfabe News is funny. They always got stuff. They got an article about Dennis Isaac Jacob says the hunting dentist in Africa is a disgrace to the dentistry profession. So, but yeah, great time. Had a lot of moments watching Piper. Few favorites. A lot of them come at WrestleMania. I thought it was crazy when he painted himself half black to wrestle Bad News Brown.
Yeah, that was awful.
Don't know what that was. Piper knew how to sell racism.
Yeah.
I'm sure like, his most heated gimmicks, like, okay, when he was coming up and really start getting fire as a heel was in California. And he took on the Guerrero family. Chavo Sr. was his main opponent, but he pretty much fought the whole family.
Right.
Always had something bad to say about Mexicans. He would say, hey, this is the Mexican national anthem, and then come with the bagpipes about the cucaracha. He even did that in WWE. He used a little racism on Mr. T. He told Mr. T that he had no more chains than his ancestors. Hey, Piper used that racism as a heel.
Yeah.
Maybe better than anybody. I mean, he could stir that pot. But he didn't care. Like, he was so good at being hated. Like, it just didn't matter. Like, he knew where to push the button. I don't know if a heel is brave enough to go that far. And he did it a day where people would riot. He did it a day where people would be trying to knife you. Especially on the West Coast. In the 70s, read anything about wrestling in the 70s on the West Coast. Bruh. Pat Patterson tells some stories about, like, hey man, I had to fight to the ring, I had to fight out. The police had to escort you, things went wild. It's a lot of stories about the West Coast in the 70s and wrestling. Even in the South, in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Hey man, they would have full-on riots because the people believed.
Of course.
Oh man, they would tear it up, and like it would go out of control. So, yeah, not too much you can say about Piper. Not too much you can say about the career. The guy has been a part of almost every wrestling organization. Period. I mean, I think he showed up somewhere. He may not have wrestled there, but he's had like 15 minutes somewhere, right?
Right.
He's been at TNA. He showed up. Hey, he had a segment at TNA. He's always come back to the WWE. Ring of Honor, he done showed up there once or twice. The guy who loved the business, a lifer. WCW. Not just during the Attitude Era where he was, part of Monday Night Wars, and he came and gave them some spice because Hogan was running amok as Hollywood Hogan, and they needed somebody to oppose him, so they took a guy that he couldn't beat, and Piper. Then, prior to that, man, in the early 80s, fought for that U.S. title, was a friend of Ric Flair, was an adversary of Ric Flair. Like I said, the fuse with Valentine. The guy made a name for himself. Georgia Championship Wrestling. Piper have been to almost all the territories.
Oh.
Like I said, look up the career. Amazing career. Will be missed.
The very controversial host of Piper's Pit, Roddy Piper. Mr. Piper, I would stick around, but you're going to have to excuse me. I have to go to the men's room. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Oh, going home? Oh, my goodness, that's fine. Cow Palace. You can go to the men's room in the Cow Palace. That's a wonderful name in San Francisco because the Cow Palace is someplace that I would be proud to call my home. Cow Palace is someplace that I'd be proud to bring my gal. Because obviously if you live in San Francisco and you are going out with gals, obviously they belong in the Cow Palace. I saw one, the only thing she was missing was antlers. She would have been in season, Jack, man. I saw her coming up to me, asking me for a date. I says, man, I'm Hot Rod. Are you kidding me? He said, yeah, but aren't you the one that's going to fight Mr. Wonderful? I says, yeah, I'm going to fight Mr. Blunderful. They says, but aren't you the one that's going to fight him with all them wrestlers around the ring? I says, yeah, that's me. He says, don't you know what he's thinking? Of course. Yeah, I know what he's thinking. Absolutely nothing, man. When he's in a room alone, he is all alone. You see, you forget, I rode with him. I know what an idiot this guy is. I know his moves. Oh, yes, he's tough. I know he's tough. You think I ain't, man? I've been around. You know that. I've been there before. He's tough enough to go and bench press 500 pounds. Who really cares, man, huh? Your idea here of a wrestling match here, you got 12 wrestlers around the ring. You got dancing midgets and leathers. You got everything that you've ever wanted in a match. You know why I signed this? Incidentally, it didn't take me 2 months to sign this match. No. It didn't take me 2 months to make up my mind, brother. No. I said, you want me to fight somebody? I'll fight anybody. Who do you want? Just let me fight him. Orndorff says, well, I'm going to take my time. Going to take me about 2 months, and I'm going to go right now and go to the bathroom and think about it, and now I'm back. Right there. It's your idea of Orndorff's father. You see, that's going to happen after you fight me. Going to be nothing left of you except for old and bald and ugly. You ain't going to be no Hot Rod. You're just going to be somebody that can't keep his bladder empty.
Thank you very much, Roddy Piper. Back in the Bay Area at the Cow Palace Thursday night, October the 10th. Don't you dare.
I thought Raw did a great tribute to him on Monday, as they do. The WWE was wonderful video packages.
Right.
And we're going to just roll this into Raw. I thought The Miz did a wonderful tribute before Miz TV, and he had the Hot Rod shirt on. A lot of people wore the Hot Rod shirts. All in all with Raw, how did you like the show? Like, I thought the week before, and we're going to go into a little bit the week before too.
Okay.
Was a really solid show. I thought the main event the week before with John Cena was one of the best main events of Raw I've seen in the last 5 years.
Oh, right.
Easy, right?
Right.
And that's without him breaking his nose. I just think that just adds
theater to the story. Oh, that was awful. Ooh, did you see it?
Yes, and it's something I will point to that because it's something that Dana White said that kind of pissed a lot of people off in wrestling, and I will point to that moment as one like totally sucked the wind out of what he said with that.
Right.
But we'll go. Back to this week's Raw, though. Seth Rollins issues a time. We knew Seth Rollins was going to wrestle John Cena at SummerSlam, no?
Right.
Like, I think last week, we established that when he confronted him. Because Rollins doesn't have a dance partner.
Right.
Roman Reigns is still busy with Bray Wyatt. Ambrose is kind of embroiled in that, too. Orton has Sheamus to deal with. Brock has Undertaker on the dance card. So we kind of left Rollins out in the hole, but we had a U.S. champion, John Cena. Back in my day, I'm an old schooler. I'm a WCW guy. U.S. championship, mid number one contender to the world title anyway.
Exactly. So now he's just kind of in his rightful place.
Right. So that's how I see it. U.S. champion becomes number one contender. Okay, so here he goes. John Cena dance card empty. Kevin Owens is busy with Cesaro.
Right.
Rusev, I think, is busy trying to manage his women.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God.
So he got to deal with Lana and Summer Rae, which I will get into later because it was an observation I made about Summer Rae. But Seth Rollins laid the challenge. I liked that the challenge came from Seth Rollins. It's title for title. I'll see how it will play out. I don't think anybody loses their title at SummerSlam. But let's go into it. Keith, your thoughts?
My thoughts was, Raw was just in itself interesting. I wouldn't say it was so wonderfully good, but it was interesting because the promos that were cut, I can't honestly say that Heyman, of course, did his thing. Seth did his thing. Like, Miz TV was awesome. It was great. It was great. It was interesting. It was interesting because the match wasn't too bad. To me, Raw was, it had us good. It had us good Monday night. I just am anticipating certain things now with SummerSlam coming up. You know, they're having a 4-hour card. And, of course, it's my first time learning about it. But, man, I am excited. I have to honestly say, this episode of Raw has me a little bit more excited about SummerSlam. So, if that was what the main goal of Raw was this past Monday night, it succeeded. Because I am way too amped up about this Brock Lesnar Taker match and Cena and Seth title for title. I'm watching it. Done deal. Like, I will be sitting here watching that. I can't. Like, you can't tell me that I won't. Like, I have to. I have to. Because of course Cena's gonna accept, and there's no doubt in my mind it's gonna accept. Now, Seth plays the heel too good. He does. I give him that, and I think that's what we was going to talk about first. So, he plays the heel too good. Like, Seth has to be one of the best heels I've seen in a long time. Because he knows. He knows how to play with your head. He knows how to get inside of your head. He knows how to play the crowd. He's good. He's good. So, that was my thoughts of Raw, though. That was my thoughts.
Here's the thing. I thought they did a really good job with Seth playing up that he broke Cena's nose.
Right.
Excellent idea. You got to play it up because it adds fuel to the feud. It gives a sense of why Cena wants Rollins even more now. Right? Secondly, it gives Rollins a measure of just being a dirty heel. I broke your nose, and I'm happy about it. Not that it was an accident. I tried to do it because I'm a bad guy.
Right.
Also, it adds some credibility to his tough guy image. Hey, he broke somebody's nose. Chris Benoit snapped Sam Bootneck accident. He became the crippler. You have to use what you got.
Right.
I thought Seth played up the heel really good. He brought out the Never Shut Up t-shirts.
Which is awesome. I want one. I want one.
I said, like, he and Owens really play the bad guy good.
They do.
There are two different types of heels, but they really make sure they go far enough to play the bad guy. And if you start getting on their side, they try to make sure they do something to turn and keep the tide with you not liking them. Doesn't work on the more cynical fans, but I think to the broader base, I think they're nailing the mark every time.
Right.
So, good job with both of them. I thought the Neville match with Seth Rollins is good.
I thought it was awesome.
I like what they do. I like what they're doing with Neville. Only thing I don't like with Raw, I think we're doing too many false finishes.
Yeah.
I think we are diminishing the value of finishers. Like, I think we can do false finishes with other moves, but finishers need to kind of maintain their integrity.
Well, that's why they call them finishers. If you do a finisher in the middle of a match and then somebody kicks out, it's not a finisher. It's just they did their signature move and it didn't work out. No, it's not going to work. Because the whole point of the signature move is so it can end the match. You know, I hit this is my thing. This is my move. This is what's going to be in. This is what's going to end all of it. If I hit this more than once and then I still can't beat you, that's a problem. That's a problem because then it makes me look bad. You know, you don't want the wrestler to look weak. You don't want the move to look weak because then what's the point of it being your signature move if it looks weak?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. That's the whole point of being a finisher, so that it finishes everything. Like I just can't. I'm tired of it too. I can't even lie. Like I'm thinking, you know, once you hit it, oh, it's over. It's over. Everybody's like, oh, it's over. It's over. It's not over. Right. That's what kills me about it. You know, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing if, you know, somebody kicks out of it. You know, it happens. But for it to be repetitive for multiple matches and for multiple people, that's a problem.
Right.
You know.
Keish, the submission sorority.
Also,
what do you think?
I love that name, first of all. Okay? And I think it fits those ladies. I do. I think it fits those ladies. I mean, I had to wonder who came up with the name, but at the same time, once I actually, you know, thought about it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm with it.
It's one of the better names of the last few years. I've heard in a long time.
Right.
I like Team Bad, and to me, they're BAM. Black girls are magic.
All right.
That's how I identify Team Bad. Beautiful and dangerous. To me, they're black girls are magic.
Okay.
But I think that the submission sorority is a very creative name. Man, Charlotte goes to work. She is athletic as fuck, man.
Yeah.
And she goes in. Oh, she goes in. She does Ric Flair proud. Becky Lynch and Paige doing a thing. They've been at this since they was teenage girls. Becky Lynch ain't no joke, man.
No.
She comes, she hits you with something new. I like the presentation of everybody so far. These 9 ladies are going at it.
Right.
I can't wait till Natty comes back and gets infused in this some kind of way. Because she's a total package. And I think this is the Divas division that fits her.
Right.
Right? This Divas where you got to be able to wrestle your ass off fits her.
And it's perfect.
And ain't nobody out wrestling Natty.
No, not at all. So I think it's awesome. And I agree. I think this is where you do insert Natty. This is where you insert Natty. The way that it was what it was before, it didn't really work for her. It did. This does. So somehow, some way, they gotta work her into it. Even if they somehow put 2 more females in it. Well, they have to do something about that. Because eventually these ladies won't all be together. We know.
No, they're not. Well, eventually everything's going to split off. Everything is going to combust. Because everybody got their own individual goal, and everybody wants to be champion. Okay?
Right. Okay.
All right. Here's one thing I'll say. I would have a Divas show at this point. WWE Network, to me, is prime place. You can do so much with WWE Network, right? And you can have these ladies wrestle, and you can do dark matches on Raw, SmackDown, whatever, but once a week for an hour. I wouldn't call it a Diva show, because I would also use it for tag team wrestling, period, right?
Right.
And for that hour, only men would wrestle, and there would be tag teams, and I would create new tag teams, and it'd be women for the most of the show. Singles and tag team. I would create a women's tag team championship and have women's tag team champions. Just like how you got this stable of threes.
Yeah.
Think about your stable if it had the women's champion and the women's tag team champions in the same stable.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you could do tag team now. Paige and Becky Lynch are the British Invasion.
Right.
Team Bella. And actually, Team Bella can consist of Brie and Alicia Fox. Naomi and Tamina. They're their own tag team.
Right.
Natty and one of the NXT girls. Or Layla's retired, which we can discuss that in a little bit. Summer Rae and somebody. Lana and somebody. We could go down the list. There are a lot of bodies that are available now.
Right.
So, whoever's not in the world title hunt can be in a tag team title hunt. And like I said, we could put together our show that airs strictly on the WWE Network. Hell, it doesn't have to be on the road. We could shoot it down at NXT. We could shoot it down at Full Sail.
Right.
And then it's just called, it's just a women's tag team show. We'll just call it a name. We'll call it, Friday Night Lights.
Which is awesome. The whole concept of the show is great. I mean, you give them an hour, and you let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? They cut promos, they have matches, they, of course, fight for titles, and then you incorporate them into the pay-per-view, or a pay-per-view,
And they would have a show, they would have a match or two on Raw, like they've been doing, or on SmackDown, but the development of the storylines would happen on Friday Night Lights.
Right.
And everything would be mentioned to get you to watch Friday Night Lights, which be a strict WWE Network property.
It would be so awesome if that happened. I think it's time that they created women's tag team titles, personally. Because you have too many tag teams that you put together in the Divas division to not give them tag team titles. Something else to fight for. You're right. Like, one stable having all three holding both the tag team titles and the Divas title would be greatness. It would just elevate everything to a level that can be unmatched. Have them fight it out on their own show. Done deal. Done deal. Because that is what's going to break up groups. And they create stables, and then break up stables, and there's nothing saying that they shouldn't have their own spotlight. Nothing. Right now, it's, we do these segments on Raw, and it's over. Give them focus. If they were focused on in that kind of light, man, I would watch every week. Every week. I would watch every week. Period. I don't care what I had to do. I watch every week. So, it's great that what they're doing with the Divas. And it's great that it's actually working out. They've tried things in the past that have completely failed. This works. I like this. This is awesome. Stephanie and they get so much credit for this. This is awesome. I'm with it. Not only that, but you have the Divas Championship and the NXT Women's Champion all incorporated into this. Like, what more could you do to make this even more awesome? That's my question. Big ups to the Submission Sorority, because that name is greatness. So, and the figure 8 is one of the best submission moves I've ever seen in life. I ain't trying it, but I'm just saying. It's greatness. So, woo! I love it when she does it.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Also, wrap this, because we go along into this segment. I hate babyface Mark Henry.
Oh yeah, he's awful. He's awful.
Just watching him lose hurts my heart. I
Yeah.
like destructive heel Mark Henry.
Yeah, that's just shit up just because Mark Henry. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with it. I am so with it.
Hey, speaking of the women's division, why is Summer Rae best character her pretending to be somebody else?
I can't explain that myself, but I agree. Because that's herself,
That's she's ever been, is her trying to be Florida.
That's awful. It is so awful, but it's so true. Like, it's like, come on, man. Really? Yeah, she's just...
It was funny. Like, I remember watching this comic one time, and he was so unfunny. But you know what the funny part of his set was? When he was impersonating Bernie Mac.
That's awful.
I was like, so the only way you can be funny is impersonating the funny person.
That's awful. If that is what makes you good, that's a problem. If you have to be somebody else in order for you to be good, that is a definite problem, and you should do something about that.
I've never liked Summer Rae, so
of course
that
not.
could be part of it.
No. Well, that's because Summer Rae is like awful. She's awful on the mic. She's awful in the ring. She's just awful. Like all around, I don't understand why she's still there. But you know, hey.
She could be excellent on the mic, but I hate her voice, so I can't really tell you. I hate the sound of it. It's just like, oh God, like she sound like one of them chicks that belong on like Republican radio.
That sounds like every part of that just sounds wrong and awful. Like all at the same time. It's just It just made me cringe a little bit. Like, come on, man, I don't want to hear all that. So I don't really support Summer Rae personally. I'm not an endorser of her. I don't really get into all of that. And it's crazy because when I have to wonder who made the decision to put her with Rusev. I really do. Like, I really have to wonder who decided this was just like the best move ever. Because I'm just kind of like, no. I'm just kind of like, no. But that's a whole nother story. We'll have to talk about something else because I can go into her all day.
Okay.
No Summer Rae. No Summer Rae.
I want to keep non-Wyatt family members out of Wyatt promos.
Exactly. Like, we thought bringing Sheamus in was a good idea. Who really decided this was supposed to happen? No. Like, it didn't even work to me. Like, he come in there and wouldn't I do the rope kick out of nowhere. Sheamus, I'm gonna need you to go do your own promo. This ain't gonna work. Like, it was just, and then it just kind of turned into a regular conversation. Because, you know, Bray doesn't talk in, like, regular sentences. So, like, it just kind of weirded me out almost that Sheamus was there. And then that's how the conversation went. It was just like, really? No. No. That's what you don't do. So, yeah. No non-Wyatt family members in Wyatt segments. That just should never happen. Totally agree.
Also, the Church of Paul Heyman is now open.
Alright. clap your hands and say amen. Because that man there.
I mean, he really delivered on that Undertaker promo and kind of went in on Taker. I thought that was really good. I think they can sell what they got going on because at the end of the day, Taker ain't going to be there a lot. Brock ain't going to be there a lot. So both of them, you know, they got time. So, I mean, they won't oversaturate what's going on. But, yeah, it is what it is.
It is.
But I think that's all I got for Raw. So, we're going to hit the break. We'll come back with the news, catch you up on Tough Enough, and we will we'll roll it out.
Cool. Break it.
All right.
I remind you tomorrow night in Glens Falls at the Civic Center, 8 p.m. start, the World Wrestling Federation at its very best. Andre the Giant to meet Greg the Hammer Valentine. Also Bob Backlund to meet Cowboy Bob Orton. Ivan Putski against one of the Wild Samoans. And SD, Special Delivery Jones also on that card. Pete Johnson, I'll never forget when you were slapped across the face by Rocky Johnson in Piper's Pit. You were really not the most gracious host I've ever run across.
What is he looking for? Cookies and milk? You're looking at the legend killer himself. You're looking at the fellow that killed Jimmy Snuka. You're looking at the fellow. Rocky Johnson wants to make a reputation for himself. He feels all of a sudden he feels froggy, leaps on top of RP. Wrong, Gertrude. Wrong guy to leap on. All of a sudden, what you found out is it's a heck of a lot easier to jump on than it is to jump off. So now I got to go all the way down to Glens Falls to fight you.
Glens Falls.
Glens Falls. Excuse me, I'm certainly glad I didn't go to Glens Falls. What a waste of time. Go down there to prove myself to you. It shows you what a professional I am. I will fight anybody, anywhere, if the money's right. They made it right. I don't blame them. They want RP. Cost a little bit of extra money for them to get RP. You want to come down and finish it off? This is the place to get it done. As I say, it's a heck of a lot easier to jump off than to jump on. You understand? I'm going over your head. Rocky Johnson, let me have it. What I'm saying to you is I don't let the seeds stop me from enjoying my watermelon.
All right, we are back on the flip side for the third segment, I guess, of this show. Shout out to the brothers who realize the struggle is real, eating that imitation crab meat.
You stupid.
I don't know why that came over me.
You ain't got nothing.
By the way, that's the one turn off I see when I see something like imitation crab. You know, I'm like,
yeah.
And
you don't want to eat that. Like, no. It's like, of course you don't want to eat that. Like, it just sounds disgusting. Like, imitation crab meat. What's the real?
I eat a lot of real crab because for whatever reason lately I've been addicted to crab legs. And I got decent sales at the market.
Right.
I ain't had no Publix crab legs though. Not that they probably come from a different place, but hey man, people be saying the Publix crab legs hit like Jameis stole them things for a reason. But that's another story, another time.
That come from Publix just happen for whatever reason just happen to be like the greatest thing ever.
Yo,
it just.
I ain't gonna front that produce.
Yeah,
man. Like, okay, there's a Kroger directly across the street from our Publix, and the produce is 1,000,000 miles away. Like, it costs more, but man, when I say them grapes be bright and shiny and like fresh and plump, and the apples be extra red and the oranges be extra orange, it's like. Y'all done did something to this.
Right.
This looks too good.
Exactly.
Like, what farm y'all going to?
Oh.
But let's get into it, man. Birthdays this week. Yesterday was August 4th. Big birthday. Suicide celebrated a birthday, which is also... They listed as Suicide because this was Suicide because Keshia was the same person. Because they both was born in 1977. Also, Dean Malenko, legendary Malenko family, son of Boris Malenko, celebrates his 55th birthday yesterday on August 4th. Today is August 5th. Hunico celebrates a birthday, who is currently in the WWE as Sin Cara.
Awesome.
Which we will talk about, the old Sin Cara and all that. Tomorrow, you will probably get this show, which will be Thursday morning, August 6th.
Right.
Dino Bravo, the late Dino Bravo birthday. Dino would have been 56. No, I'm sorry. Dino would have been 66. So, I've misspoken. He'd have been 66. And if we fast forward all the way to Saturday, Brock Lesnar's wife, Sable, Rena Mero, which I guess is Rena Lesnar now, will be turning 40. I guess that's 48. Oh, let me make sure I got this right. No, she ain't turning 48. It's 1967.
Okay, 48. Wait, what?
Yeah. No. Well, they got a birthday listed in 1967. So, 1965 would have been 50. So, 48 might be correct.
Actually, that is correct. Because she'll be 48. Because if she was born in 67, she's 20 years older than me. So, yeah, she'll be 48.
I mean, you gotta think, she's 47 now. So, yeah, she'll be turning 48. I mean, she wasn't young during the Attitude Era. So,
No. Was she like in her 30s? She was like in her late 20s or something like that. Yeah, she wasn't young. She wasn't young at all. So, it makes sense. I guess it's just one of those times when you think she's younger than what she really is. Nah. That's just not the case. So, because a lot of wrestlers, I think, are like younger or older than what they really are till I find out their real ages. And I'll be like, man, what? Wait a minute. What? I thought he was older than that. I thought she was younger than that. Oh, well. It happens. So, shall we get into the news?
Yeah, let's get into the news.
Oh, man.
So, this week, all kinds of crap been going down, and if you haven't been paying attention to pop culture, apparently Drake and Meek Mill are engaging in one of the worst rap beefs of all time.
They get on my nerves. This is getting on my nerves.
It was relevant to wrestling, though, because Meek Mill used the Undertaker's theme music in his diss track.
Which I've been told, because I haven't heard the diss track. I haven't, but I've heard that it sucks. Like, I heard that it was one of the worst comebacks, like, ever. So, it didn't even help him to use the Undertaker's theme. But you know that the WWE ain't having that shit. Like, come on, man.
Vince McMahon don't play about his copyrights.
No.
I feel like somebody, and Jim Johnstone want his royalties. I feel like somebody in Stamford, Connecticut, like this. What the fuck is a Meek Mill, and how much money does it owe us?
Exactly. They don't care about his status or nothing like that. He used what? I don't know. So, who's gonna write the check? That's what we need to know. Who writes
also, as a pure wrestling fan, I feel like, okay, using Undertaker music in a diss record, in theory sounds like, alright, I'm about to go in. I'm taking music from the Undertaker because I'm about to bury your ass. You about to rest in peace.
Right.
And be like, dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
Mm-hmm.
So sad. I said I was gonna pay attention to these two kids doing this, but I've listened to a few, and I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know. Either I'm old or this is terrible.
No,
I think this is terrible.
From my understanding, it was just terrible. Yeah, it was just terrible. Like there is no age limit to this. It was just terrible. Cause
call me when Kumo D drop another LL diss record. That's my way, okay. And after he threw the L's and used that on LL with a long diss of L words, which I had to look up in a dictionary for a few to make sure they was real.
Right.
That's the gold standard of dissing for me. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm like, so, you know, Mikio Maybach, Wale didn't tell you that WWE don't fuck around about their copyright?
Okay. Somebody should have said something.
Hey, call Wale. Very expert at rapping over wrestling beats.
Exactly.
I don't know what happened there, Keish, but it was terrible. That happened this week. Also, we talked about the Hogan thing.
Yes, we did.
I would say his actions can have deeper repercussions than you thought. WWE Studios felt like they had to distance themselves from Hogan, and it could alter 2 releases that they have coming out. One, they did a movie where they had him in some scenes or whatever, but he's in the new Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh, Lord.
And the only reason why you will care is because he's in scenes with Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
This would have been Dusty's last movie, right?
Right.
This is Dusty's last project. So, they can try to reshoot the scenes and hopefully splice somebody else's voice in there and try to make it make sense. Maybe they still use Hogan because apparently he's starting to slip back into WWE stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Like slowly, not like jumping back in it, but
so by
slowly.
the time that movie gets released, he'll be back kind of in the fold. But I would hate for that to have cost us Dusty in that movie. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Even though it's a cartoon, just his voice doing a cartoon would have been, it's amazing. Awesome. You know what I mean? Dusty, I want to hear Dusty say Scooby-Doo. That's all. I want to hear Dusty Rhodes say Scooby-Doo. I'm pretty sure it's magical. I know it's magical. And you cannot steal that from me.
Exactly.
So, I want to hear Dusty Rhodes say Mystery Machine. That's all. You know, little stuff. Dusty Rhodes saying Scooby Snack.
You gotta.
That right there could make my day. I know it'll make my day. Also in the news, Rob Feinstein. You may know him as a guy who does RF video. He's a part of a lot of the shoot videos that wrestlers do that he sells and distributes. Even though some people complain that they may not be getting the money from shoot videos like they should. Okay. Rob is always at the corner of controversy.
Of course.
Always. Not too much that goes on with Rob that doesn't cause controversy. One co-founders with Gabe Sapolsky of Ring of Honor. One of the reasons why TNA and Ring of Honor stopped working together because he kind of got caught in the to catch a predator kind of thing at one point. Okay. Don't really know all the logistics of it because a lot of people say it was shady how it went down.
Right.
Here's the thing. Don't know Rob that well. We're friends on Facebook. That's all I can tell you. Chris Ott, a guy who's also in the wrestling merchandise game and stuff like that, calling Rob out for selling fake merch.
Stop playing.
Yeah. Really big deal. He said, dude, when you bought all my prints Saturday morning, you said you were going to resell them. You failed to mention the part about putting fake signatures on them first.
What?
So Rob bought product from this guy, Chris Ott, and then selling them. Mind you, some of them are Piper products.
Oh,
So,
That's
yeah.
terrible. The things people do to make quick money. Like,
now, Rob has denied all allegations, but it's getting kind of messy. The Wrestling News Source reported on it. Rob blocked the wrestling news source. So I mean, it's getting messy. It's real messy in the back end of these wrestling streets. But I was reporting on it because Rob to me is a lightning rod for controversy, and I don't know what's true and what's not. Speaking of controversy and lightning rod, Dana White pissed off a lot of wrestling fans and wrestlers by saying wrestling was fake.
Of course he did.
Broke fucking Twitter for it. I think he misspoke. I don't know how Dana feels about the sport. I know he reveres Vince McMahon. I know he loves the McMahon family. I know him and Shane are real close. Here's the thing. Fake is the worst word used when talking about wrestling.
Exactly. It is
worst
awful.
Word used. Ron Funches has a bit about wrestling that I really love. I saw it on a comedy show, Comedy Central, and it's funny. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna splice it in the show so you guys can hear it, and we'll drop it in right about here.
I love wrestling. It's the best. People try to make you feel stupid for liking it. They're always like, hey, you know that thing you love with the pageantry and the fireworks and the golden belts. It's fake. And I'm supposed to be like, oh no, you've ripped my world asunder. I guess I'll just watch House now. But really, it should be like, well, no shit, it's fake. What type of psychopath would I have to be if I wanted it to be real? Oh, you mean the thing where people have minor disagreements so they body slam each other? And there's a guy who carries around a snake in a bag that he uses to bite his enemies. But it won't work against the Undertaker because he don't got no blood. You telling me that's not on the up and up?
And now you guys have heard that and can listen to it and get a feel, because I thought it was funny.
Right.
It's exactly how I feel about wrestling. You know what I mean? Because people love to tell you, oh, it's fake. So it's Captain America.
Yeah, right. It was on my nerves.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if it was real, what kind of psycho would I be?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I watch it. I like the pageantry. Like, you know, Rod hits it on the head. Also, I find it funny that people, when they talk about wrestling fans, see, wrestling isn't cool right now. Like, it's not like the Attitude Era. And I think we're going to get back to that pretty soon, where all the fringe people start watching again.
Right.
It become cool, and they're going to act like they've been down the whole time, and we're going to get a splurge. There's going to be like 45 more new podcasts.
Exactly.
They're going to all fall off with the boom die out. But that's cool. Everybody who's in it now, the podcasters and the people on the internet, the hardcores and the diehards, we're the real fans, right?
Right. Exactly.
Quote unquote. I'm just being real with you. When other people look at us, I hate the fact that they look at us like, y'all know that's not real, right?
I hate it.
First of all,
I hate it.
It is real. It's scripted.
Right.
It's live action theater, you fucking drip. Like, it's more real than anything that you watch on television, because these guys do their own stunts.
Right.
So, it's very fucking real. John Cena, who got his nose broke and moved to the other side of his face, was very real last Monday. Like, there's no exaggeration about that. There's no exaggeration when I say somebody broke their neck in a ring. Lita, Stone Cold, Benoit all had to have neck surgery.
Right.
Sabu. I mean, like, I go down a lot of people who broke their neck in the ring. I don't know of anybody who, had that experience in other things. It's real. You don't think it's real? Go get body slammed.
Exactly. And see how
don't
you
take
feel.
one of the punches. Those so-called worked punches. Because, I mean, pretty much it's the fact that they try to say, like, don't go too hard in the face, don't knock anybody's teeth out, but go out there slugging. That dog collar match between Piper and Valentine, that's real blood. Very funny that people be like, oh, it's fake blood and it's ketchup. No, there's no fake blood in wrestling, man.
Yes,
that
right.
shit is real. Now, they may not get busted open the hard way. They may do a blade job, but
that's real blood, though. They're bleeding. They're still bleeding.
You dedicated? Yeah. Are you dedicated enough to your job to cut yourself for
Hell no.
just so you use real blood? Okay. So I'm just saying that, man, fuck that. Like, fake is the worst word to use with wrestling.
It's awful.
There's a scripted outcome, but to get to that said outcome, there is very real violence.
Exactly.
And it is real in that sense. Also, hey, man, I know what I'm watching is work.
Right.
The funny thing is, the majority of people in America watch reality TV and don't realize they're being worked.
Exactly. And it's funny because most of these people that say wrestling is fake, they are into these reality shows like they live their own, like they live in this life. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll sit there and tell you to your face, yeah, wrestling's fake. I can't stand that stuff. I don't understand how you watch it. But then they the very first person to be talking about love and hip hop and Duck Dynasty. Really?
Here's the thing.
Really?
Love and hip hop. I can tell you why. You want to know how I say? I know dudes who've been extras on the show. Secondly,
exactly.
I've been to casting calls for some of the stuff. Also, Keish, think about it. How the hell I bump into you on the street and I wasn't anticipating seeing you and you already mic'd up? You already got a microphone on.
Exactly.
Also, hey, we are in a restaurant arguing and throwing shit and other people are watching us. They all eating like we not there.
Right.
Those are paid.
Everybody's chilling. Everybody's chilling as if this is not happening, but yet it is happening. Like, no, I'm sorry.
Cussing. I'm gonna look over like, hey, what they doing?
I'm gonna be staring, and it's the second you start talking. Shut up! You don't hear them arguing over there. I don't want to see what they're talking about. Like, none of that's happening. Like, people still chilling at the bar. People still chilling at their table. Folks still walking in as if nothing's going on. Stop this. Come on, man. The police had to be called. The police were already there. They probably extras too. Stop playing with me. Like, don't try and play me out like I don't know. It's funny because watching it, I've watched these shows before. And the first thing that comes to mind is, if I don't like somebody, why would I talk to them? Why would I meet up with them? Why are we sitting down at this table together? So we do end up in this environment of we're going to argue and fight. Like, come on, man. Really?
Yeah, it's that stupid.
And then not only that, but then they're going to places that normal people don't go to. You know what I'm saying? Every time you see them, they're at this extra random place. You know what I'm saying? Like, 1 minute they're here, 1 minute they're there. How is it that 1 minute you eating at the U Bar, and then the next minute you eating out at Marietta Diner? Can we talk about this real quick? Like, come on, man.
I would go one step further. My wife, Nicole, refuses to believe this. Undercover Boss is fake. I hate to break everybody's heart. Undercover Boss is a fucking work.
Yeah.
How do I know it's a work? Every story is the same. After watching 3 of them, it's like, oh, this is bullshit.
Exactly.
Everyone has a perfect setup, right? First of all, it's always the 3 employees. They go to one. one has a hard luck story. Every last one has a hard luck story. Like they've been working for the company, their mama died while they was working for the company, they ended up homeless, and they kept staying with the company, and they paid for stuff out of their own pocket. Then the guy says, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pay for your mama's funeral. I will put you through college." Oh, there's always one young kid that gets put through college.
Right.
There's always one person who has a charity that they're working for or try to do some charity, and the guys go donate the money so they can do the charity. I'm telling you, this shit is a consistent work. Oh, also, nobody ever knows who the CEO is.
No.
Keisha, I've had enough shitty jobs in my life where everybody know who the CEO is.
Exactly. I know who the CEO is for my job now. Come on, man.
Right. They keep the picture up and everywhere, and they be like, yo, this guy coming, and they be panicking. Also, people act like the camera's not there. Like, why is a camera randomly recording me teaching this dude how to make a sandwich? Exactly. I'm pretty sure that that's not how shit works. That's not a common occurrence.
This is not everyday stuff. This is not everyday stuff. People, I don't know if y'all know this. The ones that don't know this, I work for a contracted company. My company, the company I work for, is actually based out in Denver. I live in Atlanta. We get letters from the company sent to our emails once a month with the CEO's picture, biggest day, at the top, or somewhere in the newsletter. How is it that you don't know who these people are? I get told, I know, as a matter of fact, I can tell you the chain of command in my company all the way down to me. Come on, man. Like, how is it that you don't know who these people are? And then all of a sudden, you go to work one day like you've been doing for the last 3 years, 3 months, 2 years, 6 years, 10 years, and then all of a sudden there's cameras there. They weren't there yesterday. They probably ain't gonna be there tomorrow. Why are there cameras here? Because the first question I'm asking, if I go to work and there's just these cameras everywhere, why is there cameras here? Who here? What's going on? I want to know. I'm nosy. I don't see how you ain't that nosy in life. Because if you a regular employee, just going to work doing your everyday job, you going to ask these questions. You going to want to know. What you doing here? Who is this? Why y'all got these cameras?
Yeah. So, yeah, understanding that that's a work is another thing. But let's get to some more things that's real, because we're going to wrap this up and get through, which has been a pretty long show, Keish. Yeah. Very impressed. Glad we're back. Jimmy Supervisor Snuka has been diagnosed with stomach cancer.
Oh, it's awful.
And that's sad news for the wrestling community. He underwent surgery last Friday to remove the cancer and part of his stomach and lymph nodes. So, we wish him the best and, hope, Superfly gets better.
Right.
Also, Sunday, if you have nothing to do and you want to watch some big pay-per-view, AAA in Mexico is having Triple Mania. And it's going to be available in pay-per-view in English in the United States.
That's awesome.
So, check that out. A lot's going to be going down with Triple Mania. The highlight, the main event, will be Rey Mysterio, former WWE superstar, WCW superstar, against Mr. C's. You know Mr. C's as the original Sin Cara. So this is built as a dream match down in Mexico. And a match people really wanted to see in the WWE that never really took off. So it's going down. Also on the card is Alberto El Patron, Alberto Del Rio, aka will be taking on Brian Cage in a hair versus hair match. A good tag match going down with Blue Demon Jr. and La Parka, taking on Electroshock and on Messias. There's a 3-way trios match, which is like a 6-man tag joint, but I guess it's just this 3-on-3. They're gonna be taking on. It's gonna be a triple threat three-way match. So that's gonna be going down. Gonna be really entertaining. If you're into Lucha Libre and the Luchadors and you're into Mexican wrestling, Check it out. Check out your local pay-per-view provider because I think that's going to be going down. And it'll be something interesting for you to see. Also, going strong, too, still, is the G1 Climax tournament for New Japan. And I will give you the update and the schedule. Because I think it's something going down tonight, man. I don't know. Like, it's something going down every night. Like, it's a 19-day event. So, as we move into August. Yeah, or it actually went down this morning. And there's a break tonight. So, what I'm going to do is probably get you the results because the next one is tomorrow night. Or tomorrow morning. If you wake it up. Well, not tomorrow, but the following morning, because I'm still recording. However you listen to this, if you get it Thursday, which is tomorrow, then it would be tomorrow morning when you get up.
Right.
On Friday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30. Hey, man, the tournament's going live. So, beautiful thing, when you get up at 6:30 in the morning, they wrestling over there in Japan. So, they doing it. They keeping it consistent at about 6:30 every day. So, hey man, you ain't got to be up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So you can make it a part of your morning routine when you get up to start watching. So, we'll publish some results on ringtimeprowrestling.com to get you caught up and let you know where everybody's at. So that'll be going down. Tough Enough. We'll get you caught up really quick in 2 weeks. I think the last time we talked, Patrick had got eliminated. The week after that, which was last week, Mada got eliminated. So heavy favorites getting eliminated off this Tough Enough, Keish.
Yeah, man. Hey, you never know. You never know. You know, you predict who you think is gonna make it, and you be like, Lord, no, why? Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. And they used a save. Miz used a save because he saved Amanda, which I didn't get. Amanda would have went home, but they sent Mada home, and I didn't get that. But I will say this. Patrick and Mada got released, and I think those two have two of the brightest futures.
Right.
Mada has the size and the presence and the look and everything. I mean, he looks crazy. Patrick, he's 19. He's young. He's athletic. I think he has all the tools. I think he's just going to figure some things out. But I think they'll work with him in developmental. And at 19, he's such raw clay.
Right.
I think he'll be ready to go and rev it up really early. This week they sent home Chelsea Green, who I think she was like the 14th contestant kind of semi, and basically they brought her in after one of the ladies quit.
Yeah.
But she I thought she was one of the favorites. Like, she really kicked butt in a lot of competitions and really understood what was going on. They used Gigi. Paige used her save to save Gigi this week. So, I mean, like, the last three eliminations are people I have a feeling will actually end up on the roster.
Right.
And you know how Tough Enough works. I mean, the winner, there's only been one winner that actually had a real career, that was John Morrison. The winner rarely ever does well. The best people ever on Tough Enough were actually people who lost.
Mm-hmm.
Right back.
It happens like that.
Miz took second that year, I think, with Morrison, and he went on the main event WrestleMania. Right? So you got to think about some of the guys. Maven ain't never do nothing. That guy Andy from the last Tough Enough, he just washed out.
Yeah.
I will give you the last Tough Enough before this one. There's only one person that made it to the main roster, and that was Arian, also known to you as Cameron, of the Funkadactyls.
And that's it.
Guess when she was eliminated?
First.
Yeah. Very first week of the show.
Gone. Done. Just, bye. It was
first week of the show, only person to make it to the roster.
Right. But that proves to you that just because you are eliminated does not mean that it's over for you. You know, and a lot of people think that, oh, well, she's done. No, she's not. Trust. you know, he's done. Nah, he's not. Trust. I could see Patrick in NXT one day. I could see Mada in NXT one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's coming very soon.
I can see that happening.
Like I said, I think they got the tools. I think they're entertaining enough. And I think they'll make it work.
So, even if you don't, hey, it happens, man. It ain't the end of the world.
No, it's not.
Not the end of the world. But I'm excited to see the rest of it, see what happens. So, definitely gotta keep up with that.
Right. With that being said, I think we're done, Keish. Any part, those shout outs, whatever.
Of course, because me and you were talking about this in between, during the break. We got to get a pardon shout out to the new baby niece. Jalen Monique Holt was born at 2:38 yesterday morning. She weighed 8 pounds 6 ounces. She is a fat baby. That baby is fat. But she is so adorable. She's so cute. For those that don't know, I love babies. They're just the most adorable things in the world. I swear. Could have started crying. And it's like,
Not what I heard. Not what I heard happened at the hospital. But that's, you know, rumors have a dancing way float around. Either way, new addition to the Hope Foundation. Hopefully, you know, Tawada's recovering. Little brother Marcus is a dad for the first time, and my little brother is Keisha's older brother. I don't want to start son him as our little brother, and then, you know, he's here to get married.
Of course, for those that don't know, I'm third in line. So, like, he's a Marcus before me, and it'd be like that.
As I do with this podcast, I said I am the Colonel.
So,
no.
But I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him, you know. And I have to say congratulations to our brother and his new baby girl. So, people don't ever ask me when I'm having a baby. I ain't got time for all that. I ain't got time for all that. Like, I'm the last one. I'm the last one left. You know what's funny? I just thought about this too. All y'all September babies have children now. All y'all got a kid. I'm the only one without a kid. I was born to be odd.
Yeah.
I was born to be odd, man. It'd be like that. It'd be like that sometimes. So, hey, it fits the bill. It is what it is. Not saying that it will be forever. You know, just not no time.
Going back to back. Okay.
Okay.
Other than that, good show. I think we were entertained this week. Glad y'all can listen. We'll be back next week. Maybe even before that, if I get to move the podcast Sunday, I might drop y'all something. Or if I can get some guests, because there's some people I'm talking to about some things. And we're going to make this interesting. But all in all, peace. See y'all next week.
See you next week. Bye.